lights. Riverside Drive. It's...
Close your eyes, darling. Go on now. Close them. But don't go to sleep. Listen to me. Now, Royal is coming down from Albany, and he has the papers. The merger is going to go through exactly the way you planned it. As for the campaign, I've told the press that you have a bump on your forehead and a sprained wrist. And I've got everything else under control. There's a city councilman in this district who's been very, very helpful. Have you understood what I've said? Bill.
Why all the questions? Head on fire. Don't leave me alone.
Patient's getting upset. Lower his head, please. Mrs. Woodward, we need to get in there to see your husband.
He doesn't seem to be able to concentrate very well.
Well, that's to be expected. This is Dr. Roger Coleridge. Miss Woodward.
How do you do?
How do you do? He's in a lot of pain. Can't you give him something?
Mrs. Woodward, may we step outside?
No, I think I'd rather stay here in my husband's room.
The rhinorrhea is continuing.
Right, thanks.
Dr. Bolak, will you please explain the meaning of all these ever so pregnant looks that you doctors are exchanging?
Of course, but I prefer not to talk in here.
Whatever you say.
There's a chair.
I can stand, thank you. Now, gentlemen, let us understand each other. No one is going to keep me away from my husband.
Mrs. Woodward, I know that you want only the best for your husband. Now, that's what we're concerned about, too.
Doctor, I'm tired and a little unsettled. However, I do recognize an evasion when I hear one. Dr. Moultrie, you are the physician in charge, I believe. Am I right?
That's correct.
All right, then you and I must have an understanding. I am going to be with my husband at all times because that is what he would wish.
It's not my prerogative to speak on that, but I will do what's best for the patient.
No, I want to be perfectly clear. If you have any intention of trying to keep me out of that room, you may consider yourself his ex-physician in charge.
Mrs. Woodward, we realize that you are terribly upset, and the crash was a terrifying experience, and that you're deeply worried about your husband.
Yes?
But before you become so concerned with visiting Mr. Woodward, perhaps it would be better if you understood more about his condition.
All right. Look, I don't want to be unreasonable, but I will. I insist on being understood. Now, it's obvious. He's been very seriously hurt. I know it's a little thing, but he even seems to have caught a cold. His nose is running.
That's not a head cold, Mrs. Woodward. That's spinal fluid running from his nose.
Oh, my God.
Mrs. Woodward, please have a seat. I think it's time you knew exactly what is wrong.